Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. As you can tell by the beautiful flower picture in the background, I am back in a hotel and not in one of the two trucks that I own. Um, the shop was able to diagnose what's wrong with the truck, and I thought I would give you all an update. Some of the things that are wrong with the truck are things that I thought I was going to hear are wrong with the truck, due to what I was able to diagnose a little bit before I brought it to the shop. So, what I'm going to do is talk about what the estimate is to get my truck fixed, what is wrong with my truck, and how I, as an owner operator, set money aside to pay for these major breakdowns. So, yeah, stay tuned. All right, the shop that I brought the truck to on Friday was able to get it in right away and diagnose what the problem was. And I was aware of some of the issues just due to the little bit of troubleshooting I was able to do while I was at the truck stop trying to figure out why my truck wouldn't go into a parked regen. The shop did confirm that my turbo actuator is bad. That my DPF filters are clogged, and due to the turbo actuator failing, my turbo failed as well. So I need those things replaced. I do have an estimate right here on what it might cost. Now these numbers can change, but right now the estimate I have for a new turbo actuator, new turbo, all the gaskets, taking out the DPF filters and cleaning them and baking them. Now, this number will change if the filters fail the baking process. But this shop said a lot of the soot that's clogging the DPF filter in my Mack truck is due to the turbo failing, and a lot of that soot is just on top. And they're like, we see this every day. You shouldn't need brand new filters, so we're hoping we can bake them and you're good to go. But right now, the estimate is $9,496.62. That definitely is a tough pill to swallow, but let me tell you how I prepare for these exact situations. So there's a couple of ways that I prepare for situations just like this. And to be honest, like I'm learning how to do it with two trucks now. Not both trucks are on the road all the time or at the same time right now, but I do have to find a way to plan for maintaining two trucks because eventually I want both trucks back on the road. But let's talk about how I prepared for one truck. First off, let me say this. I do believe part of being a business and being a business owner and an owner operator is trying to be as disciplined as you can with your money. You're going to have years where you make a lot of money, and then you're going to have years where you're not going to make as much money. And for me, need to be very proactive in knowing how to allocate that money. The last few years have been very profitable for me as a business. And what it's allowed me to do is set money aside in my business account to buy new equipment, to buy more equipment. That money really isn't set aside for a lot of major breakdowns. I don't want it for that. I want that cash flow to add more equipment to my business or have the capital to be able to bring an employee on. The reason I say have the capital to bring the employee on is, we're kind of in a weird downturn in the market right now, and some weeks you can still make really, really good money, and other weeks you're not going to make as much. And I believe, well, not what I believe, it's something that should always happen. If I have an employee, that employee is going to be paid before I'm paid. So I believe in having like a healthy cash capital in my business when I want to make moves. That's how I was able to buy the Mack back. That's how I've been able to purchase the trailer and things like that, is with that money that I have been able to save. I try not to use a lot of that money unless it's allocated for maintenance or like tires or things like that. on major breakdowns on my truck. So let me tell you how I save for things just like this as an owner operator. Okay, how do I save for maintenance and major breakdowns as an owner operator? I wrote a bunch of stuff down here, and this is the way I do it, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it seems to work for me. Is it always simple? No, it's not always simple, and it takes a lot of discipline on my behalf, to be honest. But what I did was I looked at my last 2 years of being an owner operator. Now, these numbers include all maintenance, including like your oil changes or tires, right? Now, a lot of people might separate normal maintenance from major breakdowns, which I get and understand, but that's not something I'm doing right now because I'm still new at this owner operator game, man. 2.5 years, well, 2 years and 5 months. So yeah, this is the way I did it. I took year one total maintenance costs, and my total maintenance cost for year one was $15,221. Now, like I said, that includes oil changes, new tires, brakes if you need them, whatever, right? So year one was $15,221 in maintenance costs. Year two, we saw a big jump. Year two was $47,525. So what I did was I took year one and year two and added them together to try and find the total amount and then average it out, right? So if you add year one and year two together, my total maintenance expenses, that includes everything maintenance-wise to my truck. Once again, whether it was tires, oil changes, or major breakdowns, in 2 years, I have spent $62,740. Now, what I did was I took that $62,740 and divided it by 2. That way I know that the average yearly cost for maintenance on one truck that at the time was going to be $31,373. All right, after I averaged it out and got that $31,373 per year for me to maintain one of my trucks, I decided to sit down and find out how much do I need to set aside every week to achieve that $31,373. So what I did was I took that maintenance number, $31,373, and divided it by 52 weeks in a year, and it came up with $604 per week that I need to set aside in a maintenance account. But the reality is, I don't work 52 weeks out of the year, which means I don't receive a check for 52 every week, right? Because there's weeks that I don't work and I don't get paid when I don't work. So what I did is I went back and looked at the time off that I've taken and added all of that up and realized, you know what? I work about 46 weeks out of the year. So what I did then was took $31,373 and divided that by 46 weeks. That gave me a total of $683 per week that I need to set aside in a maintenance account if my maintenance bill for the year is going to be $31,373. And you know what? I've been able to do that every week so far. So right now we're in the 21st week of this year. I have set aside $683 for 21 weeks. So if you take $683, multiply it by 21 weeks, I so far in my maintenance account have $14,343. That is how I am able to pay this bill right here without tapping into any of my profits or anything from the previous years of being an owner operator. I have that money right now in a maintenance account because at the beginning of the year, I figured out what the average cost right now for me to operate one of my trucks. Now, I'm going to also say this. I think $31,373 is quite a bit in maintenance costs for the year. I would look at year one where I spent $15,221. I would say that's probably the average. And I would actually, if I was just trying to calculate how much it would be if I wasn't an owner operator and had like all my receipts for how much it actually costs, I would probably add another $3,000 to that. So, you figure $18,000 a year in maintenance on your truck, and that includes all maintenance. That includes maybe one major breakdown a year that costs you $10,000. So, well, tires are more expensive now, so I would need to add more money for that. But that would be my oil changes and things like that. So, yeah, that's how I plan to survive as an owner operator. And what do I mean by that? Well, like I said, I budget my money as a business. I figure out how much I need to set aside per week in case I have a $10,000 breakdown one week, because it's going to happen. It's happened to me multiple times. It's just part of doing business. But the reason I do that is I'm able to, like I said earlier, protect the money that is in my business account from all the hard work I did in the previous years. Like I said, I want that money to grow my business. I don't want that money at this point to pay for this. I would rather set something up in the beginning of the year that allows me to pay for these types of breakdowns and these types of maintenance costs. And I don't know if that's the right way to do it or not. It's the way I'm doing it. And like I said, right now, in my maintenance account, I have $14,343. Now that was on paper. The real number is like $15,322, because there was one week a couple of weeks I've added in a little bit more money because I was concerned once I got the second truck that I'm going to have to spend more money in maintenance. So I've been adding more per week to it. But right now I have enough in my maintenance account to cover this bill and still have money in my business to continue to try and grow my business. Like I said, if I'm doing this wrong, please leave me a comment. By no means do I think I know everything, because I'm still very new at this and learning the right way to operate. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, you know what it is. Keep on trucking.